From the very beginning, our core mission was to accelerate the adoption of electrification and really take the electric vehicle to the next level, and in doing, take the automobile to the next level. This idea of if we make this vehicle compelling enough and amazing enough, and we take away any obstacle in our consumer's mind of whether or not electric car is a good thing for them, that's the goal, that's the mission, is really to accelerate that adoption and make the best car in the world. When we were first thinking about the design of the car, I really wanted to create this vehicle that is effortlessly sleek, seamless, something that just flowed through the air without being overly aggressive. And through that vision, we came up with this idea of a jet, an aircraft. So early on, we started working towards this very clean design and really simplify the vehicle down to its very core essence. The car really has just one line that goes all the way around, and that became this key defining feature, and all the other details play off of that one line. At the front of the car, we have this incredible light blade, and that's really enabled by our micro lens array. That allows the lights to be very simple and very linear. So we start at that front line and we bring it all the way through the fender, right up the side of the car and around the rear of the car into the taillight signature. This is enabled by the fact that we have our shut lines around the side of the vehicle rather than down the back. That allows us to have a single piece taillight from one side to the other. In fact, this is the largest taillight ever, and that helps create this seamless aesthetic. To me, it's really important to be bold through simplicity. One of the advantages Lucid has is our drivetrain components are incredibly compact and very power dense. What that allows us to do is think completely different about the space of the vehicle. In our case, we push all those components down and away and give all that extra space to the passenger compartment, and creates a very unique paradigm where we're larger on the inside and more compact on the outside. We're really redefining what a luxury sedan can be. As a result, we've been able to create this incredible front trunk, or frunk, and we're proud to say it's the biggest frunk ever made. It's got a double-decker storage, a fold-away cargo cover, and it really becomes an additional bonus of our space concept. The trunk of the Lucid Air is really split into two levels. The upper level is for larger objects, as well as longer objects, for example, like a surfboard, where you can utilize the split seat and allow incredibly long cargo capacity for the rear. In addition to the upper storage, we also have this second tier of storage down below underneath the bifold cover. And if you combine those two together, plus the frunk, you end up with a cargo capacity that is much greater than a traditional sedan and is more in line with what you would get with an SUV or crossover. Once we established this incredible space concept, we knew we had to think differently about the passenger compartment, so we really divided it into two zones. The front of the vehicle is meant to be more sporty. Typically, we do that in darker colors. As you work your way to the back of the vehicle, this is meant to be a more relaxing environment, and so those areas are always done in lighter, brighter colors to create this duality between the front of the vehicle and the back of the vehicle. We're going to offer two versions for the rear seating. The first version that we launch with will be a bench seat. We're also going to offer an executive rear seat. This will recline 45 degrees and take full advantage of the Lucid Air's rear space. In addition to this lounge space, we have this incredible glass canopy. And this is this whole idea of letting light into the vehicle and create a very open and airy experience. With this overall minimalist simplicity of the interior, it was really important that every detail had this feeling of quality and craftsmanship and care. And that's all about how you apply the materials to particular surfaces. It's important that the metal look and feel like metal, and how it interacts with the wood feels quality, feels intrinsically valuable. And it's that combination that really gives you that feeling of high craftsmanship.
I've always been drawn to sort of the beauty of objects and what makes something remarkable, the quality of the build. It's not just the materials themselves, but really how they all come together. That's been a very important philosophy of how we work. What makes something good design is creating with passion, creating with care, the fit and finishes, and attention to details. We're literally measuring the pitch of the stitch, the weight of the thread, the suppleness of the leather, How deep is the logo debossed into the metal? How it feels to run your hand along the wood, that it actually feels like wood. We're always looking at those little minute details, things that people probably don't even really think about. When I first started at Lucid, we didn't really know who we were in a lot of ways, but we knew we were a California company. It became a very natural fit for us to think about doing interiors and themes that were in very specific locations within California at very specific times of the day and how the light would look like at those locations. The lighting in California is like no other. We looked at the day as a 24-hour period, and we started out at the beginning of the day in Santa Monica. Mid-morning, it was Big Basin. At noontime, it was Santa Cruz. Sunset, it was Tahoe. And then near midnight, it was Mojave Desert. They all had very specific and really beautiful lighting conditions that lent themselves to us starting to talk about what would these color combinations be and how could we incorporate this idea. We decided to have our Dream Edition developed in the Santa Monica theme. It was really about imagining Santa Monica when the sun hasn't quite risen yet. It's very misty and foggy, and you're looking sort of this nebulous haze of grays and whites. We developed this beautiful graphite gray along with this ceramic white interior. We have silvered eucalyptus, which is an ode to driftwood. Santa Monica is the first part of the day. It's an awakening, a starting point, and that just lent itself to our first introduction. It was this perfect, natural connection.
Once we established this overall feeling of space in the interior, we put a big emphasis on the displays, and we knew it wasn't about having the most displays or the largest displays. It was about what's the optimal position and form factor for the driving experience. As a result, we came up with this 5K floating display that is completely curved, optimizing the view and touch for the driver, as well as the view out to the road. In addition, we have a large center console display that is optimally placed for both driver and passenger, and it retracts into the center console and exposes a large storage area up front. We also have an incredibly large center console. This has docking for inductive charging and phones, as well as 2 additional large storage compartments, which is very unique for a vehicle in this class. Even though there was a huge focus on our displays and the touch interface, we still wanted to find that balance of the analog tactile experience. So we put a lot of focus on the steering wheel and how the roller toggles feel in your hands, as well as the center console controls. All of this still celebrates that mechanical feeling and the physical touch of the vehicle. It's so important to balance the digital with the mechanical. When thinking about the Lucid in-car user experience, we realize that our customers are used to a very easy device interaction with the consumer products in their lives. And once they get in a modern vehicle, that experience was broken. At Lucid, we really wanted to try and close that gap. As a result, our focus was really on this idea of simplicity, ease of use, and intuitiveness, and really having an empathy for our customer that would ensure the time in the car was time well spent. To enhance this, we knew the user interface had to have a certain elegance about it. That meant a real focus on color, on tone, and layering to create a certain ambience inside the vehicle that even integrated into the ambient lighting, enhancing the overall beauty of Lucid Air. This environment is further enhanced by our immersive audio system, completely engineered and developed in-house, with 21 speakers around and above you and over 800 watts of power. Along with our partners, we're bringing a true spatial sound experience that isn't available in any other vehicle today. So the Lucid UX experience actually starts outside the car in our very unique Lucid app. This app will allow you to precondition the vehicle, set a navigation route, check your charge status, and even check upcoming charge locations. The app is tied to your Lucid ID, so as you approach the vehicle, it knows it's you, the lighting sequence is activated, the car unlocks, and the door handles present themselves. Once you get inside the vehicle, the car confirms that it's you through facial recognition. This activates all your presettings and then loads the trip you just planned.
Alexa, lock the front door.
The front door is locked.
You can use natural voice commands through Alexa to play music, set a stop on your navigation, or even check your calendar and appointments. One of our key features is something we call application flow. When you activate navigation, music, or phone, you get key information and functionality up above. When you swipe down, that opens the full application on the screen below. The center display is also where you activate climate control and HVAC features, as well as settings. We've enabled over-the-air updates, which allows it to stay cutting edge and refreshed over time. The digital customer journey is designed to be seamless from web to retail to application to overall in-car experience. We want our customers to feel like we've anticipated their needs without needlessly complicating anything. It goes without saying, we're all really proud of the design and key features that we brought into the Lucid Air, but this has only been made possible by incredible engineering and true innovation with our in-house technologies.
Doing everything in-house is a belief-based philosophy, and to achieve that, you really need to attract the most brilliant engineers and designers in the world. So to enable the space concept to work, there's an old adage, if you want to break the rules, first you have to master them. So it required mastery of the 5 key elements of electric cars, electric powertrain, and we do all that in-house. So battery, motor, transmission, power electronics or inverter, and software. It's this inflection point of hardware, software, art and science that really becomes fulfilled in our first product, the Lucid Air. To miniaturize, but to improve the efficiency at the same time. That is a really tough thing to pull off. You could do one or the other, but to combine the two, that's what I'm really proud of. So really, perhaps if we were to distill one key metric for the prowess of an EV company, surely it would be range. And I'm really delighted that Lucid Air has been independently validated as achieving over 500 miles, as an EPA estimate. But you know, there's something which is more underlying than range itself, and that is efficiency. Because really, anyone can go and stuff a huge battery in an electric car and get a huge range. That's dumb range. What we want to do is create smart range. And why I'm thrilled that we've got over 500 miles is because we've done it with a significantly smaller battery pack. We are over 15% more efficient than the nearest competitor. So Lucid Air is achieving over 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is really unprecedented for a car of that level of luxury and interior size. Now driving from here in the Bay Area down to Los Angeles and from New York to Washington, D.C. is a true reality. And I like to think of it as goodbye range anxiety and hello range confidence. I'm particularly proud of our battery pack for so many reasons. First of all, it's very sculpted and forms part of the crash structure and envelope of the car. The underside of our pack is just gently curved, forms part of the aerodynamic diffuser of the car. So our pack influences the range of the car, not just by the batteries that are in it, but because of its curved shape, makes the car more aerodynamic to side through the air more cleanly and get more range that way. But there's a whole other dimension to this. Its sheer manufacturability is a breakthrough. Our pack is designed like Lego bricks, designed for mass production. That keeps the costs down. It means that we can have a higher quality solution, more reliable. Looking ahead, it can apply to smaller, more affordable cars. And that's very much part of the Lucid dream and vision. Then we look at the core technology in that pack. The thermal technology is a breakthrough. We have a thermal system which is much more reliable, much more dependable, and more efficient than our nearest competitor. It's also more compact. We have a pack which can take 300 kilowatts of fast charge, over 900 volts. No one else has that. This is a groundbreaking. We've developed the right cell chemistry with our cell supply partners, a unique design of cell for Lucid Air. So the pack is a multi-dimensional, multifunctional, integral part of the core architecture of the vehicle. A really big part of our battery pack technology is our BMS, or battery monitoring system. And it's so instrumental in monitoring the health of the battery. But BMS does so much more than that. It helps our thermal management, and it helps the life expectancy of the pack. And it is a significant contributor to range efficiency. I'm particularly proud that over the last 2 years, Lucid, under its Ativa technology wing, has been the official supplier for all 24 cars in the world's premier electric race car series, the World Championship. That pack was created, conceived, engineered, developed, and is actually manufactured here in this very building. And that pack really transformed the sport. We offered double the capacity of its predecessor. It allowed, finally, a car to run a complete race distance with a single charge. We've had 0 failures. We've had 100% reliability. We've accrued so much knowledge that technology that we've developed and finessed on the racetracks is now finding its way directly into the Lucid Air, and everyone who drives a Lucid will know that underneath their feet is race-proven battery technology. The surprising thing here is the performance of the car. And I may like fast cars, but honestly, I didn't set out to create a car as fast as Lucid Air. I set out to create a car with amazing range that was really going to change the world. Even with my desire to make that range happen with the smallest pack imaginable, even with great efficiency that we've got, we still need a relatively large pack. And the byproduct of that is, if you've got a relatively large amount of energy, you end up with a relatively large amount of available power. So all we needed to do was make our motors and inverters and the rest of the system large enough to actually use that power that's available. And you might think we'd end up with unduly inefficient other elements. No, this miniaturization process and this relentless search for efficiency has resulted in the rest of the system being minute, and yet, unbelievably, we have over 1,000 horsepower. I'm particularly proud of the motor that we've developed in-house because it's done 2 things. We've miniaturized it, and at the same time, we've made it super efficient and power dense. And that's really a rare combination. We've been able to achieve that because we've got some real joined-up thinking between motor and transmission team. In fact, they're not 2 separate teams. They operate together as a single team because we think of the motor and transmission here at Lucid as a single inertial system. And that's led to quite a breakthrough. Our motor systems are complete units. That's electric motor, transmission, differential, and inverter. That is a unit just this size. It weighs 73 kilos and is up to 500 kilowatts. There is nothing else in the marketplace even close to that. Now, because our motors are so compact, we're able to fit them in different configurations within the car. We can fit 1, 2, or 3, each of which is 600 horsepower. But this is the beauty of this sort of joined-up thinking, and this is all synergistic with the space concept. So we've spoken a lot about how we've reduced the size of the power units, but the space concept extends beyond that. We have a very innovative heating, ventilation, air conditioning system, a HVAC. We have 2 independent blower channels to feed air into the front of the cabin and the expansive rear of the cabin. Conventional car has a single blower, which is often a noisy thing, inside the cabin with the occupants. We've got 2 blowers outside of the cabin, and they fit neatly integrated right above the front power unit. And this gives space not just for the occupants, but it creates a space concept for the frunk, which is unparalleled in its volume. And in fact, we can fit the volume of 4 competitor EVs' frunks all in our single frunk with litres to spare.
Not only do we develop HVAC systems and the thermal systems fully in-house, we actually develop a whole host of cutting-edge technologies and systems with an absolute industry-leading expert team. One to mention would be our 12-volt, highly redundant Ethernet architecture, and that ensures redundancy for data management. Not only have we built a hardware-based security into our gateway controllers, but the high-bandwidth Ethernet and code structure that we are using for the message transfer ensures that we are a very safe network. At the core of our Dream Drive system, we have a host of 32 ADAS sensors built into the car. That's comprised of ultrasonic sensors, radar sensors, and a industry-first high-definition LiDAR system that generates a very high-res point cloud that we can use to identify objects in front of the vehicle. We fuse this data from this high-res LiDAR with the data we are getting from the radars and the cameras and create a realistic and redundant space for the vehicle to find its path in. We also have a camera inside the car, a driver monitoring system. The key benefit is that the car knows where the driver is looking and whether he's attentive and can take over in tricky situations. On top of that, the driver monitoring system enables comfort features that would be driven by facial recognition. Part of the Dream Drive system is, of course, a state-of-the-art park assist system that lets you hands-off park into tight parking spots with no fear of scratching your rims. Like all features in the Lucid Air, we can update the whole Dream Drive experience over the air over time with potential to grow into a full autonomous driving system and keep the system fresh, attentive, and state-of-the-art. And it'll be standard on the Dream Edition of the Lucid Air. In addition to the active safety that we are covering with Dream Drive system, we have focused a lot of attention and ingenuity on developing a super safe passive safety system. And that's comprised of a very safe passenger cell. We have developed a comprehensive airbag and seatbelt suite that will achieve 5-star safety rating in the US NCAP safety rating standards. I'm particularly proud that we've been able to re-engineer a headlamp completely. We're using our microlens array optical system. A key benefit of these microlens arrays is also that we can maintain a very high level of efficiency of energy that we convert into light. Miniaturizing the light module enables us to have the slimmest light output aperture in the industry. On top of that, it's also the most luminant light. It's super bright. A further innovation is a solid-state swiveling high beam, and we've got thousands of little optical channels that distribute the light super evenly onto the road in front of the driver. And with that projection of thousands of images on top of each other, we actually achieve the most homogeneous headlight of any car out there. That was only possible because we have a stellar in-house optical engineering team. It's a completely rethought technology approach to a headlamp. Another aspect that's fully developed in-house is our 924-volt architecture, and that enables us to develop components that are both very, very efficient and also very, very powerful. The advantages of having a 900-volt architecture is that we can actually charge the car really, really fast. And that brings me to our fully in-house developed onboard charging system, the Wunderbox, as we call it. The Wunderbox is a real miracle, as Wunder stipulates. Traditionally, the systems we have integrated into the Wunderbox would be all separate. By integrating them into one housing, ultra-compactly packaged, we've managed to give that space back to the occupant. It is ultra-efficient by using silicon carbide chip technology for the switching, and we've actually tied it into the crash structure of the vehicle. We can charge with this Wunderbox up to 924 volts. We have a built-in DC-DC converter that provides 400 volts to vehicle systems. And one of the most customer important systems, I feel, is the bidirectionality that we've built into our Wunderbox. Not only can we charge the car from your house, the car can also supply power to your house, which is a whole new world of features. This will enable you to use the car as a battery system. In case you have a power outage at your house, your car will keep the lights on. Because every Lucid Air has this bidirectionality built in, we can use one Lucid Air to charge up a second Lucid Air. And that leads me also to our stationary battery storage systems, the ESS systems that we are developing for your home. And we are reusing our battery module technology and the power electronics technology to make super efficient home battery systems. On top of our home battery systems, we are developing product lines that can be used in businesses as a backup battery storage or on a utility scale. So the Wunderbox enables us to charge very, very fast on level 3 charging, which is the latest high power charging standard. It also enables us to use lower voltage infrastructure that is deployed at 400 volts, and the Wunderbox boosts that voltage up to the vehicle voltage. In partnering with Electrify America, we are taking advantage of the vast investment that they have made in charging infrastructure throughout the whole country. We have built in complete convenience by integrating with their systems and enabling plug and charge. They have chargers that can deliver up to 1000 volt. That enables us to put a lot of power into the car and charge very, very fast. The first owners will receive 3 years of unlimited charging on the Electrify America network nationwide. At Lucid, our engineers always push to the limits, and that is on the range front, eking out every last mile out of the energy of the car, as well as performance development. And the Lucid Speed team has been tirelessly developing the performance of the vehicle from a powertrain performance perspective. The vehicle, the chassis, suspension setups, tirelessly being tuned to give the customer the ultimate driving experience.
We looked for over 60 sites in 13 states, and we found that Arizona is a perfect place to build a factory. It is very important to start your factory from the scratch and wrap it around the product you have and wrap it around the processes you want to build there. So once you start to build a greenfield factory, it's the best approach ever, because otherwise you create waste. And the factory will not be perfect like it should be to be efficient, cost-effective, and quality-driven. Our factory is the first greenfield EV factory in North America, and I'm very proud to be part of that. It will be the fastest factory built within 8 months and some weeks to get the first cars out there. This is really astonishing. This factory is super unique because it is wrapped around the 10-year plan. So what you see now is just plan phase number 1, and the paint shop is the cornerstone of this factory, and we built the factory around this. So this factory can scale tenfold, which is, as I know, never has been done before. It can go up to 60 jobs per hour within 10 years. And yep, that will happen. I'm proud of my team. They are experts on their topic, and I have to keep up with them. That's hard. It's hard work because they're brilliant. They believe in what we are doing together and what we want to achieve and where we want to go. There are 2 factories. We have in Casa Grande also a powertrain factory. So we are building the core of our car, which is the technology from the very beginning to the end, and deliver it to the main factory so the team can build that into the car. This is the core competence that we built up there because this is a very highly automated and very precise manufacturing method to get that done. And if you want to build a luxury vehicle without quality, there's no way. You need quality in your processes, in your design, in your product, in everything you do. And so we're starting the factory with a quality-driven wrap. We will not hit numbers because we want to hit numbers. That doesn't make sense in a luxury segment. We will hit quality achievements and quality goals and move forward. And once we hit them, then we can create higher numbers. That is the path. How we want to move forward and make a community of Lucid fans who are super convinced of our products, of our story, of our culture, of what we believe is important for our planet and for our community. Our approach was to put all the love and care that we put into the Lucid Air into our retail experience, and we refer to those as studios. We wanted it to be totally different than your traditional automotive dealership. We took inspiration from mid-century architecture and really brought that ambiance and warmth into the space, to make it almost feel like a living room, so our customers feel completely immersed in the Lucid experience. Our first studio and service center outside the Lucid headquarters is established in Beverly Hills, California. That is just the first of 20 that we'll establish throughout North America throughout 2021. We know that consumers want to have a direct relationship with the brands that they love, and we want to enable that in every single touch point, whether that's a completely online digital sales experience or one that is in our showroom in personal. So the overall store experience is meant to be very immersive, and it's also meant to be a continuation of the online experience. So we wanted to reinvent the online configurator. We looked towards video games for inspiration to create a more immersive, more rendered experience. A consumer can go online, compare the base Lucid Air to the touring level as well as grand touring level, and see all the trim variations in between. Save it out on their Lucid ID, then at a later time, visit a studio, present their Lucid ID, and have that same configuration experience on our virtual reality platform. In addition to the virtual experience, they'll also be able to have the physical experience. They'll be able to touch and feel all the key materials in all the different configurations that are available for Lucid Air. Each studio will be equipped with a full display of our battery, motor, inverter, and Wunderbox. That way they can learn what's at the very heart of the Lucid Air.
We're going to launch Lucid Air with a remarkable version, the Dream Edition. And unashamedly, it's my personal choice of car. It's got over 1,000 horsepower, giving it a 0 to 60 time in under 2.5 seconds and a standing quarter in 9.9. And because it achieves this with the most unsurpassed efficiency, the car has remarkable range as well. So this car has performance and range in a unique fusion. Dream Edition will come in 3 unique colors, white, black, and gold, with Santa Monica interior. It will feature unique 21-inch Aero Dream wheels and Dream Edition badging. So Lucid Air will be available in a range of versions, and the mainstay of this will be the Lucid Air Grand Touring. Soon after, we'll produce the Lucid Air Touring version, and that will be available for $95,000 upwards. We anticipate, though, in 2022, making a car which is more affordable, the Lucid Air. We start next spring in 2021 with the exquisite limited edition Dream Edition, and that will be available at $169,000 US. For full details of this range of vehicles, please go to our brand new website, which has just become live now. You can reserve immediately for $1,000. Thanks everyone for tuning in and allowing us to share with you the fruits of labors, but we have one more glimpse of the future that I would like to share with you. So I'd like to introduce Project Gravity.
Subscribe now to UCar, a point of reference for car fans since 2010.